Hi, my name's Tony Park. My 19th African thriller novel, Blood Trail, is a tale of mystery, murder, mayhem, and a little bit of magic set in the African bush in South Africa. It's the story of a rhino poacher who disappears seemingly into thin air in front of a safari guide. His name is Mia, and her tracker Bongani. An investigation then unfolds to find out what has happened to this guy, and it leads to a trail of other crimes, including kidnapping and killings. Blood Trail does see the return of one of my earlier characters, Captain Sunny van Rensburg, who's a female police officer in the South African Police Service. She first appeared in a couple of earlier books, Silent Predator and The Hunter. I should say it's not essential that you've read the previous books. Blood Trail can be read very much as a standalone book, but if you are interested in following some of Detective Van Rensburg's previous adventures, they are out there in Silent Predator and The Hunter, still in print. The inspiration behind Blood Trail came from a conversation that I had with a friend of mine who's an academic in South Africa. She's actually studying the field of traditional beliefs. And over a cup of coffee, she explained to me that research was being done into the use of traditional medicine, witchcraft, you might call it, or even magic, by rhino poachers. So these are criminals who are hunting rhinoceros in South Africa. And rhino horn is prized in parts of the world, particularly in Southeast Asia. It's a very valuable commodity. It's a high risk, high stakes venture. And it was explained to me that just in the same way, say, as soldiers at war become either very superstitious or very religious or have talismans or lucky charms like rabbit's foots and things that they cling to and certain rituals they go through, so too will poachers go to traditional healers known as Izangoma in South Africa, and they will pay money to them for charms or talismans or potions which they believe will make them invisible, they'll make them disappear, or they'll make them bulletproof, that is, impervious to the bullets of the rangers and police and military people are hunting them. Interestingly, these beliefs are so ingrained into African culture that a lot of the time some of the rangers and the anti-poaching people are going to those same traditional healers, also looking for potions to help them in their hunt, that is to catch the poachers. So I thought it would be a fantastic story, a what if you could have somebody in the bush, they come across a rhino poacher and this person seems to actually disappear before their very eyes. It also allowed me to explore beliefs and different cultures in Africa, which I found absolutely fascinating. I think one of my favourite characters is Captain Sunny van Rensburg. She's a mum with three kids. She's trying to find her way in difficult political and economic times in the country of South Africa. She was an up-and-coming police detective many years ago. She's been through a lot. She suffered a personal tragedy, and she's having to not only look after her kids who are getting older, but she's having to find her own way in life now too. So I think she's a very sympathetic character, and I really like her. I must say I also like the new character in this book, Mia, who's a young female safari guide, a very good tracker, but she's operating in an industry that's traditionally been male dominated, and that of course throws up a number of challenges for her. It's about her overcoming her self-doubt. It's about all the characters in the book examining their own belief systems, their own personal sense of honour and personal sense of right and wrong in this very trying time, because the book is set during COVID. Was also inspired by the fact that, like a lot of people around the world, I took to watching online webcast game drives, safari drives from Africa that were being broadcast on a daily basis. I couldn't get to Africa. I'm here in my flat in Sydney. Normally I'd be at my house in South Africa. So I was getting a kind of virtual hit of life in the bush. And so the book starts out with Mia conducting a game drive that's being webcast around the world. And in the middle of that drive, she and her tracker, her offsider, a guy by the name of Bongani, come across a poacher in the bush. My writing habits are, I do believe that it's good to follow a routine, and it's something I've learned over the years. So I produce a novel a year, and I also write biographies on the side, so I have to be quite disciplined. So I have a daily quota of writing that I have to do. I have to write 4 pages a day, which works out to about 1,500 words, give or take a couple. I find it's good to start early, and I find it's good to get something down straight away before I go and try and do anything else, whether it's check emails or anything else. I do like to do something else in the mornings. If I'm here in Sydney in lockdown, I'll try and go for a run or do some exercise to clear my head before I really get stuck into writing. If I'm in my house in Africa, my wife and I have a place on the edge of the Kruger National Park, a house over there. Normally our morning routine starts with a drive in the bush or a walk to go and look at animals. We live in a game reserve, and so we can walk around, and at the same time I'm soaking up a bit of atmosphere and getting inspired for the day's writing. But I think because writing is a very sedentary job, it's good to combine it with a bit of exercise. It's good to get out, smell the roses, get a bit of fresh air, or see the elephants in my case. The other thing I would say for anyone interested in writing is, if you think you're on a roll, stop. Set yourself a daily quota, and when you get to the end of that quota, reward yourself. Have something to eat, have a drink, have a swim, have a bit of exercise, rather than keeping on writing. It's good to leave something in the tank, because the next day you wake up, it mightn't be that easy. So pace yourself as well. I'm currently working on a 20th novel, which I've also had to write during lockdown, but it's about a different environment. It's about poaching that happens in South Africa, in the oceans, in the maritime environment. So something a little bit different. I'll probably leave it at that.